Budweiser Thoroughbred Digest. The weekly national report on thoroughbred racing is brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By Thrifty Car Rental. Thrifty is a lot of car rental company for incredibly little. By Lane's End Farm, sponsor of the Thoroughbred Digest Trainer of the Month Award. And by the Naira Net, the New York Racing Association simulcasting network.
And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. Thanks for joining us back along the rail for another edition of the Budweiser Thoroughbred Digest Show, our weekly recap of the sport of kings. Well, there were no surprises in this past weekend's final Eclipse Award announcements covered live by ABC Sports at Santa Anita. Horse of the Year honors went to Sunday Silence. The Black Colt by Halo set a single-season earnings record for a thoroughbred at over $4.5 million. Wins in the Santa Anita Derby, Kentucky Derby, Preakness, Super Derby, and the $3 million Breeders' Cup Classic. Well, his trainer and part owner, Charlie Whittingham, won the Eclipse Award as the sport's top conditioner for 1989. All-time stable record earnings of more than $11.4 million. It is Whittingham's third Eclipse Award after winning in 1971 and 1982, and is most satisfying.
Yeah, this was a big year for Trainer of the Year because it's getting tougher every year to get this one. The other one seemed a little easier when I got them.
And Charlie says 3 times is the charm for him. Another National Eclipse announcement was for Jockey of the Year. The honor went to 19-year-old Kent DeSormo. DeSormo certainly earned it and did it the hard way. He set a national record for wins in a single season, 597, breaking Chris McCarron's 15-year-old record of 546. Kent's horses total more than $9 million in earnings. And quite a year for Kent DeSormo. Our other news on race riders, not as good this week. All-time leading money-earning rider, Hall of Famer Lafitte Pincay Jr. suffered a fractured right collarbone as a result of this accident in a charity harness race at Los Alamitos last Friday night. As you see, the starting cart just about to pull. Lafitte's horse goes down. Lafitte is thrown over the cart, bounces off the horse onto the track. We talked to Lafitte last night. He says the doctors told him he'd probably be out from 3 to 4 weeks. The irony of the event is that it was to benefit the Don Macbeth Fund for Injured Thoroughbred Riders. Also, a special thanks to Los Alamitos PR Director Dick Feinberg for getting us that footage. A tragedy on the track at Beulah Park in Ohio last Saturday. 27-year-old apprentice jockey Jeffrey Ryder died from massive head injuries in a 4-horse spill at that Grove City, Ohio track. Ryder is a former quarter-horse rider from Oklahoma who converted to thoroughbreds just last fall at Remington Park. When we come back, our Breeders' Cup feature race of the week. Well, let's go to the races now. This week's Breeders' Cup feature race of the week.
This week's feature race is brought to you by the Breeders' Cup, promoting racing year-round with the Breeders' Cup Budweiser Special Stakes Program, the new Premium Stakes Program, and Breeders' Cup Day, racing's $10 million championship.
And the feature at the great race place, San Pasqual Handicap. Grade 2, $150,000 out of it. It's for 4-year-olds and up, going 1 mile and a 16th. Let's take a look at the field now of 8. Candy's Gold trying to make that comeback after stud duty the year before has Gary Stevens at 11-1. Stylish Winner has Solis at 15. Tessa, a long shot with Patrick Valenzuela, Avenging Force at 18. Now we'll get to some of the favorites. Races stand at 8-1. Present Value Eddie Delahousse has the favorite in the race at 6-5. Criminal Type, ridden by Chris McCarron, owned by Calumet Farm, trained by D. Wayne Lucas. And then on the outside, Lively One with a first or second can become racing's newest millionaire. 2-1, Robbie Davis has the ride. Let's go now to the call of the San Pasqual with Trevor Denman at Santa Anita.
Field sent on their way in the San Pasqual, came away to a beautiful beginning. Avenging Force sprints to the early lead. Candy's Gold at the rail. On the outside, there goes Present Value up to get second, then Razor Stanza. Criminal Type is right there at joint third. Lively One being carried a little wide into the turn, 4 off the leaders. Then it's another 3.5 back to Stylish Winner and a Tessa. They head to the 3/4 pole. Avenging Force sets the pace, makes it a decent one. Present Value is racing in second. Criminal Type is third, 3 off the leaders. Candy's Gold at the rail. Lively One moving up on the outside. Raise a Stanza, 4 lengths off the leader. Then it's another 3 back to Stylish Winner and a Tessa. They pass the 5/8 pole. Eddie Dalahousie kicks on with Present Value. They take the lead now and draw off a length and a quarter. Avenging Force in second. Criminal Type holding his own right there third. Lively One, 2.5 off the leaders. Then Raise a Stanza. A Tessa is moving up on the outside. Stylish Winner only 4 off them. Candy's Goals drop back last. 3/8 of a mile to go, and it's still Present Value leading at 1.5 lengths to Criminal Type. Lively One on the outside, a Tessa is fourth, and then Stylish Winner. 1/4 of a mile left to go. Present Value still got running him. He leads at 1.5 lengths. Lively One on the outside, Criminal Type, Stylish Winner coming on down at the rail, and 1/8 of a mile to go. Present Value, Criminal Type, Lively One on the outside. Criminal Type between horses is going best. He gets the lead. Lively One coming at him on the outside. Criminal Type and Lively One. Present Value at the rail. Criminal Type wins it a neck from Lively One.
Calumet Farms Criminal Type wins the San Pasqual, trained by D. Wayne Lucas, ridden by Chris McCarron, those famed Devil Red Silks of Calumet Farm. It was the 3rd straight win for the son of Aladar, his first stakes victory. Runner-up Lively One did go over the $1 million mark in career earnings, making his sire Halo the only stallion to ever sire $6 million plus winners. Halo standing at Arthur Hancock's Stone Farm, also, of course, the sire of Horse of the Year, Sunday Silence. Well, now for a closer look at the San Pasqual handicap. Let's go inside the Daily Racing Form with trackman John White. Then we'll hear from winning trainer D. Wayne Lucas. You look at a red-hot Chris McCarron coming to the winner's circle.
Criminal Type is really coming to hand for D. Wayne Lucas. This was his 3rd win in a row, and he passed by far his sternest test to date, this being a stakes race, and he had earlier won 2 allowance races. He got a beautiful ride by Chris McCarron, laying in a beautiful position throughout the race to the head of the stretch, and at the head of the stretch he was right there to bid for the lead. When Chris called on him, he really responded. He ran hard all the way down the stretch, and that's the improvement we're noticing with this horse now. He used to kind of not put out down the stretch, and now he's really running strong all the way to the wire.
Well, he's always been a horse with a lot of ability. He's a horse that we've liked from the beginning. The thing about him was that he was kind of too social. He wanted to stay with his company all the time. He's been second by a nose a number of times. Even allowance company, he'd run with him. And now he's got the idea that he's supposed to run by him and get down through there in the stretch, and he's doing that with authority, and I think that's going to make him a very good horse.
Wayne, are you looking at the San Antonio right now?
Definitely. I think we should definitely consider the San Antonio, and this horse is not nominated for the big cap, but I think if he would do well in the San Antonio, that the Calumet family would certainly look at the big cap as a possibility by paying a supplement.
Candy's Goal finished next to last in the San Pasqual. May end any hopes he had of a comeback attempt. We'll be back. A lot more racing on the Thoroughbred Digest, so stay with us. Well, let's review some of the top races across the nation last week. We're going to head back to Santa Anita for the first race of this week's recap section. And we'll start with the Grade 2 $100,000 Santa Ynez for 3-year-old fillies going 7 furlongs. Leading the field, 1/2 of the favorite entry, Special Happening, in the blue and white of the Wildenstein stable. But coming up on the outside in the white, her entry mate, Bright Candles, followed by the Jack Van Berg train, Fit to Scout.
They head for home. It's the Lucas entry of Special Happening and Bright Candles out there on the lead. Here comes Fit to Scout on the grandstand side now, though. Fit to Scout's coming on strongly, has to get to Bright Candles. It's Bright Candles, but Fit to Scout is resolute and wearing her down stride for stride. Fit to Scout just going to get up. Bright Candles coming back at the wire. Fit to Scout a nose.
Fit to Scout hangs on for her 3rd straight win of the month for 2 former Nebraska schoolmates, Hall of Fame trainer Jack Van Berg and owner Robert Snell. The daughter of Fit to Fight out of the mare Be a Scout was rider Chris McCarron's 4th winner of the day at Santa Anita after he earlier swept the Daily Triple. Fit to Scout returns in the Grade 1 $125,000 Las Virgenes Stakes Saturday, February the 24th. We leave California now and head to Hallandale, Florida, Gulfstream Park. It's Super Bowl weekend. That means the 6th running of the Joe Namath Handicap, appropriately a filly and mare race, being run of the mile over the Gulfstream turf. 8-5 favorite Fieldy and jockey Jerry Bailey starting to make their move up along the inside rail with the shadow roll. Meanwhile, Express Star is on the rail, and Leave It Be battling for the lead up front. But it's still anybody's race. With the call, here's Gulfstream Park announcer Ross Morton of the Joe Namath Handicap.
Script Girl caught between horses. On the outside, Betty Labila. Fieldy now between the pack, closing ground with a drive, and now muscling through. Betty Labila on the outside, and Fieldy gets through. J.D. Bailey takes the lead with Fieldy. Betty Lobelia alongside. Fieldy a half a length. Betty Lobelia second, and Leave It Be held on for third.
Oh, a great ride by Jockey Guild President Jerry Bailey, finding the smallest of holes and getting Fieldy through for a length and three-quarter win in the Joe Namath. Fieldy, a daughter of Northfield's out of the mare Grammy, is conditioned by turf specialist Tommy Skiffington for Fernwood Stable. The Florida sun was nowhere to be seen the next day at Gulfstream Park for the fourth running of the Grade 3 7-furlong Palm Beach Stakes for 3-year-olds. The race originally carted for the turf because the rain had been shifted to the sloppy dirt track. It didn't seem to bother, though, the front-running favorite, Don Quixote, who's led the race from the start. In the stretch, Don Quixote draws off to post a 3.5-length win over the second-place finisher, Rowdy Regal. The chestnut son of Grey Don II, out of the Seattle Slew mare Tilting, ran the sloppy 7 furlongs in a respectable 1:23-2. Don Quixote, trained by popular Sonny Hine and ridden by jockey Craig Perrette. Let's go up to New York now for Saturday's Grade 3 1.125 Assault Handicap, featuring some of the top older handicap stars of Aqueduct's winter meeting. Leading the 4-horse field, the veteran runner King Swan, sent off as a 7-2 betting favorite. And coming up to challenge now, Silver Survivor, It's Academic, and Aqueduct Handicap winner Congalore. Here's Marshall Cassidy with the call.
King Swan now joined by It's Academic. It's Academic on the outside, puts ahead in front. King Swan comes on again. Those two heads apart, have two on I'm Sky High. Gaining ground on the outside, Silver Survivor. Silver Survivor on the outside joins It's Academic and King Swan. They pass the 8th pole. Silver Survivor on the outside gets the lead. King Swan now second. It's Academic is third. They pass 16th pole, and Silver Survivor has the lead.
Carolyn Manning, Silver Survivor, sneaks up on It's Academic and King Swan, and then moves on to post that 3-length win in the Assault. The gray son is Silver Buck out of the Cougar, the second mare, One Nice Cat, was ridden by Art Madrid for trainer Glenn Heil. We wind up the recap with another race from Aqueduct, the $60,000 count fleet for 3-year-olds at 1 1/8. In the first turn, Angel Cordero Jr. had a problem keeping second-choice Bayou Blur from running in. The Dwayne Lucas trained Super Mario. Bayou Blur will be disqualified and placed last in the race. In the stretch, neither horse in contention is the favorite, A Corking Limerick on the outside. Chases George Velasquez and Destero through the final furlong, but Destero prevails to win by a length. Destero is a bay colt by 1982 Horse of the Year Conquistador Cielo out of the mare Honest Joy. He's trained by James Baker for owner Burton Glatzoff. Well, actor Jack Klugman's 4-year-old filly Akinimod is going for a sweep in the La Cañada Series for 4-year-old fillies at Santa Anita. We'll have a feature report coming up next from Santa Anita. Stay with us. Selected its first Trainer of the Month award winner in thoroughbred racing for 1990, and it's California-based conditioner Jay Robbins. Robbins won the San Carlos Handicap of the Razor Stanza and the Grade 1 San Fernando Stakes with Flying Continental to win the Lanes Inn Award for the first time. We'll have a profile on our award winner, Jay Robbins, next week on the Digest. Well, let's now go to Mike Willman in California for the story on Jack Klugman's outstanding filly, Akinimod.
It's been 10 years since Jack Klugman had a big horse. Back in 1980, it was his namesake, Jacqueline Klugman. The big horse now is a filly. Her name is Akinimod, and her 18-length win in the El Encino has stamped her as nothing short of sensational.
Akinimod by 7.
She went from a neck in front to 8 lengths in front in about 8 strides. And from then on, I just pretty much stood up and galloped her in, and she just kept widening. I've never experienced anything like what she did in this race.
It's Akinimod leading it by 8, by 9, by 10. And now you can just pick any number you want. She just looked at the flagman as she went by. That's how much she's enjoying herself. Akinimod.
The flagman at the 16th pole that marks the last 16th of a mile, she kind of shied from him. She threw her ears up and was watching him, and I thought I'd better get back down on her and make her finish up a little bit rather than have her prop her, getting in the habit of easing up the last 16th of a mile, because she's going to hook into some horses that are going to make her run the last 1/8 of a mile.
Akinimod's win in the El Encino was her 6th win from 7 starts for trainer Jerry Fanning.
Well, you just don't see horses run like that. I mean, the way she accelerated the 3/8 pole, you know, I think Charlie Whittingham described it best. He said it looked like a bunch of horses galloped the pole and one broke off and breezed, you know. And it was really exciting. I mean, I watched the tape over, and it's still exciting.
Akinimod, by Time to Explode out of Lady Pease, was foaled at Klugman's El Rancho de Jacqueline in 1986. Akinimod, which is Dominica spelled backwards, was named after the mother of Klugman's farm manager, Hank Lutz.
Jack's he was real enthused, and he's a guy that's not afraid to show it, you know, and he said he's waited since, he said the worst thing he did was have Jacqueline Klugman first, and then he went through all the rest of them. So I hope this filly, you know, stays like she is, and he has a lot of fun with her.
Akinimod will be attempting to cap a 3-race sweep in this Saturday's mile and 1/8 La Cañada. Her primary obstacle appears to be Neil Drysdale's multiple stakes winner, Gorgeous. However, jockey Gary Stevens is confident his filly will continue to blossom.
She won by 18 the other day, and I felt like she probably could have won by 28 if I would have let her run from the 3/8 pole, where you normally let a horse start making their move and then finish up the last 1/8 of a mile. I let her run probably a total of a 1/16 of a mile during the race, and I think she definitely could have run faster and won by a bigger margin the other day. Things change in between races, but going off her last race, I think she can definitely improve if she needs to.
Well, Jack Klugman has had an outstanding meet at Santa Anita. The popular actor who loves thoroughbred racing had his 5th winner at the Santa Anita meet last week as J.L.'s Tribute carried the El Rancho de Jacqueline colors to victory there. So Jack Klugman, I know, looking forward to Saturday in La Cañada. What a big weekend it's going to be at Santa Anita. We'll be previewing that for you later. Of course, Bill Shoemaker's final ride will be on ABC. The La Cañada with a much look forward to matchup with Akinimod and Gorgeous. So we're looking forward to being there and covering it for you. When we come back, we'll have Horse Talk with Dave Johnson and a look at some of the changes at Arkansas's historic Oaklawn Park. Well, Dave Johnson's going to take us into the world of steeplechase racing for this week's Horse Talk with a father-daughter team, a trainer-jockey team. I think you'll find interesting. Here's Dave.
Talking horses with Blythe and Bruce Miller. Daughter, the father, the jockey, and the trainer. First of all, Blythe, what's it like riding for your dad, him the trainer?
It's a lot of fun because we get to work together and gallop together, and I'm always there and can do it with him.
No problems?
No, not really. We expect a lot from each other, but there's no problems.
Bruce, how about you, having your daughter as your jockey?
Twice as much pressure.
What about
worrying about her riding over fences and the horses running well for the owners?
Worrying about the danger more than the outcome?
Well, in the beginning of this year, she's done so well this year, it's gotten less and less. In the beginning, it was pretty tough.
Did you always think she would be a jockey?
Not really. She rode on the flat when she was 16 and seemed to like that and do well, but then she got too heavy to ride. And with school, she passed it up, and I'm glad to see her riding over fences, especially as well as she's doing, but I didn't think at the time she'd do this well or this much.
Blythe, what about from your perspective? What's it like?
I love it. I didn't ever really think that I would be riding over hurdles. I always thought I'd just ride on the flat, but it's not surprising that I got into it because I've always been around it since we were little. We'd always go to the hunt meets and stuff like that.
Are you going to stay with it? Are you going to ride for a profession?
I'm not sure. I'm still in school right now, and I'll have to see when I get out how I'm doing and stuff.
And Blythe, from your point of view, what would they see at a steeplechase meet that they might not see at the flat?
I think watching the sport and enjoying how beautiful it is to watch horses run and jump and go up and down hills and stuff. It's a lot different. The atmosphere is a lot different than, say, the flat track or something like that.
It's a great afternoon, isn't it?
It was, yes, for her, especially.
We're recording this Horse Talk after a great day for both trainer and jockey. We're talking horses with Bruce Miller and Blythe Miller, and there's more Horse Talk coming at you next week.
Thank you, David. Great weekend of racing coming up around the country. In Florida, the Broward Handicap, $100,000 event at Gulfstream on Saturday. The Cold Town Breeders' Cup, $100,000 event at Aqueduct. But there's no question the spotlight of racing is on Santa Anita this weekend because Bill Shoemaker rides for the final time. The Legend's last ride will be covered live on ABC's Wide World of Sports. The Wide World segment starts at 4:30. They expect Bill's ride probably to fall in the final half hour of that at Santa Anita. Also on Saturday, the La Cañada Stakes for 4-year-old fillies. Akinimod going against Gorgeous there. Should be a great showdown on Sunday. The Charles H. Strube Stakes, the $500,000 race there. Flying Continental, Hoxter, Secret Slow among those expected there. And the Santa Maria Handicap, 4 and up, looking for the return of the champion Bayakoa there, probably with Chris McCarron since Lafitte Pinkai is on the sidelines. Well, a track is opening this weekend. Historic Oaklawn Park in Hot Springs, Arkansas opens a new decade this Friday for its 65-day meeting. They've been racing in this Arkansas Spa City since 1904, and for the first time, the state has now allowed Sunday racing. Fans will see a bright new look at Oaklawn this season, highlighted by the spectacular new Carousel Terrace, a multi-tiered dining facility on the south end of the grandstand. Decorated with antique carousel horses, the terrace will offer seating for 300 with its own private bar and mutuals area. Each table has its own television monitor system. We're happy to say they get ESPN at the track, too. Oaklawn will open the 1990 racing season with $170,000 in daily purses that has attracted most of racing's top stables to that track. Looking at some of the stakes highlights, of course, the Mountain Valley is their first big headline, a $50,000 event, the Carousel Razorback Handicap in March, and then the Rebel. Everybody looks forward to April, though, at Oaklawn for the Racing Festival of the South. And we'll be there for the $500,000 Oaklawn Handicap April 14th, then the Arkansas Derby April the 21st. In case you hadn't heard, there are no graded stakes at Oaklawn. They're all grade A's, and we'll tell you more about that story a bit later. Thanks for joining us on the Budweiser Thoroughbred Digest, and we'll see you next week with Shoe's Final Ride.
Budweiser Thoroughbred Digest, the weekly national report on thoroughbred racing, has been brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By the Breeders' Cup.